Folks, thanks for coming on the line with us today. My name's John Dubas with Premier Marketing, and we'll be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour or so discussing the opportunities you have to grow your income with United Healthcare's dual special needs programs in the states of Georgia and Florida. We're going to concentrate our presentation today on those two areas, and we look forward to a strong presentation from our guest speaker as well. Today's presentation is being recorded, and it, along with other material that will be referenced throughout the course of the presentation, will come to you as part of an email follow-up as well. So watch for that in the very near future. We hope to have it out to you today. It depends upon how long it takes the recording to update for us. A little bit of background about Premier Marketing. We are a national marketing organization founded in 1968. We're part of the Integrity Marketing Platform, and we have offices across the country. We act as an insurance wholesaler, offering insurance contracts through independent insurance agents. And in that partnership, we offer those contracts at the highest possible commission levels, with recruiting contracts available where the agency or agent qualifies. Mentioned that we were founded in 1968, so this past year we celebrated our 50th anniversary. It's a big milestone for what was once a small family agency in rural Nebraska that has grown into one of the largest producers in conjunction with its contracted agents in the Medicare arena for both Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement programs. It does so through a full insurance portfolio that includes a number of options in the Medicare world, including a full portfolio of products for Medicare Advantage and Medicare Supplement plans and standalone Part D prescription drug programs. We also offer a full portfolio of life insurance and annuity products, including final expense life insurance, pre-need programs, also a portfolio of long and short-term care programs, disability income plans, and ancillary benefits which fill the needs of our folks that we visit with that don't have access to dental, vision, and hearing assistance, critical illness and cancer programs, and hospital indemnity programs that help fill the holes in the base coverages that we offer. That Medicare Advantage portfolio does include all the major carriers and a large number of strong regional presences as well. That gives you a grand opportunity in your target market to pursue this area. It is also the same philosophy that applies in the standalone prescription drug plan portfolio as well, where the national players are part of the opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. The Medicare Supplement portfolio is very substantial, and we also offer specific tools to help make that a strong part of your overall presentation to the Medicare population. That ancillary product portfolio includes a number of carriers in each of the categories that give us the opportunity to help people with their specific needs that are addressed by these programs. When we look at the Medicare marketing opportunity overall, you don't come on one of these webinars without one of us reaching out and saying, well, gee, over 10,000 people are aging into the Medicare opportunity each and every day. The baby boomers are coming. They're here. The thing is, when we look at a graph such as this, we see the near exponential growth of the folks that are qualifying for Medicare, but we're looking at that just from an age perspective. It's important to remember as well that about a sixth of the Medicare population are actually under the age of 65 and qualify for that program based on disability. That population has a number of different specific characteristics as well that behoove us to have a full portfolio of products to help them in each of the individual specific situations they find themselves in. It's a population that, well, obviously, as anything ages, it kind of breaks down upon occasion. So the population has, well, 2/3 of it, 3+ chronic conditions. 22% of the population actually has 5+ chronic conditions. It's also a population that is limited in income in many circumstances, where the median income back in 2015 was $24,150. Nowadays, well, a couple of years after that, we're up to $26,200 as a median income for this population, with savings below a specific amount that is necessary to ensure their financial security. That's one of the reasons why programs that are designated for this population, dual special needs programs, have such an important role to play in the programs that we have available. Even if you don't concentrate on marketing in this particular niche market, it's very important to have the information at your fingertips so you can help the folks that really need your help in these situations. Medicare does obviously dictate different ways that we can help these people, and also the timelines in which we can do that. We have the standard different enrollment periods, but we also have a number of special election periods, and some of those have changed coming into 2019, particularly when we deal with the dual eligible and LIS eligible population. There are, however, a huge number of other special election periods that help us stay very active in this market year-round. We think back to those characteristics a couple of slides ago. When you look at the health circumstances and those dictated by income and assets, we have a huge opportunity to help people on a year-round basis and keep income flowing into our insurance agencies at the very same time. The next few slides actually are given to us or provided to us by United Healthcare, and it gives a strong illustration as to the opportunities we have all year long. They give us the specifics as to dates and times and the people who are affected by these different enrollment periods as well. And one of the reasons we really like working with United Healthcare is the fact that they make available a number of tools that are very helpful for us to help determine the opportunities we have and how we best address them. Their election period booklet gives us the terminology we need to effectively market in this space in conjunction with the largest Medicare Advantage carrier in the country. When we look at how the dual and low income subsidy SEPs have changed, we obviously see the biggest difference that comes about is the fact that it's no longer a continuous special election period. It has gone from a monthly opportunity to a quarterly opportunity. Does that make a huge difference for us as we reach out to the population? I have not seen a huge difference in the opportunities that we have with the number of people that we can reach out to. But each of the carriers that we work with, and United Healthcare in particular, ask us to make certain that we reach out and verify this special election period as we deal with the population. And that's one of the great tools that they make available is through their producer help desk, an opportunity to dial in and verify eligibility for this population and at what particular level. So it gives us an opportunity to really make certain that we dot our I's and cross our T's and make certain that the SEPs that we put into play are the accurate ones that are appropriate for the individuals. It is also important to note that there are a number of folks that may otherwise be eligible for this special election period that have limitations as to how they can exercise this special election period. And this is generally addressing the folks that are at risk for what is referred to as the Comprehensive Addiction and Recovery Act. And these are folks that are at risk for different challenges that they have with different medications. So that's part of what we look for when we look at a verification of the special election period that folks have in this circumstance. There's also a kind of a carving up of the overall special election period with this based on different circumstances that people have. So if they are at risk, obviously this is limited. They have an opportunity to exercise the SEP once each quarter in the first 3 quarters. The last quarter is the regular election periods for the general population. It also tells us that the folks who have a change in their levels of assistance is a different SEP. The folks who are auto-enrolled into different programs is a subset of this special election period as well. And so when we look at some of the opportunities we have to help the folks that might be either dually eligible or for the folks that are referred to as the near poor, we see what a huge impact it has into the quality of the life that the individual sees on a day-to-day basis. It's actually an opportunity to almost be paid twice in the fact that you get regular commissions for these programs, but you also get an intrinsic value of knowing that you really helped and positively affected the lives of the people with whom you deal. And when you deal with the folks who are eligible for the extra help programs, the assistance on their medications only, the low income subsidy, we see an average annual value of over $4,000. When you look at folks at a limited income, that has a huge difference as to how they go through life on a day-by-day, month-by-month basis. Some of the additional things that you get with working with this subset of the population is it does allow them access to changes in their prescription drug coverage. It helps protect them from the coverage gap, the infamous donut hole. It waives any late enrollment penalties they have for the prescription coverage, and it does provide them, as well as the true dual beneficiary, a special election period to alter their coverage as appropriate through the first 3 quarters of the year utilizing this special election period. It also gives them an opportunity to see if they qualify for the additional assistance that makes a difference in the cost of their medical coverage as well. Spend a little bit of time talking about this, but it's an important point because it affects so many of the people that we deal with. And to go back to the previous point made of even if you don't concentrate on the population and that the Medicare folks deal with limited income, it is a piece of the market that is underserved in the fact that some of the folks that qualify for these assistance programs don't have them in place, and one of the major reasons is they don't know they exist. So our having the information and working with these individuals not only help us enhance the quality of their life, but give us additional selling opportunities as well. When we look at the subset of the population that qualify for Medicare savings programs, MSPs, these are Medicaid administered programs that help cover Medicare premiums and cost sharing for those folks that may not qualify for full Medicaid. And these are subsets of the population that may or may not be best served by a dual special needs program. These are administered by state agencies. They may be called by different names, buy-in programs for both Medicare or Medicaid or Medicare assistance programs, or they might just go by the acronyms of the level of assistance that's available for them. And those include the qualified Medicare beneficiary, where that coverage actually pays Part A premium if applicable, Part B premium, also helps with the Part A and B deductibles, co-payments, and co-insurance. The folks that are of a little higher income that may qualify just for specified low-income beneficiary status or qualified individuals, these are folks that get help with the Part B premium and not the actual medical expenses that they incur through their base Medicare coverage. To be eligible for these sorts of programs, a person has to have, obviously, Medicare Part A, and they've got to meet certain income and resource eligibility tests. These tests can vary from state to state, and there are certain states that don't have the eligibility test. So if a person moves from one state to another, they may qualify for assistance in one state and not another because of the resource test that comes into play. These applications are generally submitted through local Medicaid agencies. Many times they're housed in Social Security offices, and the eligibility is redetermined each year. This gives you some of the detail that you need in order to have the numbers at your fingertips to help people if they may qualify, to help determine if they qualify for the assistance if they don't have it in play. The different assistance programs, obviously, well, QMBs go up to 100% of federal poverty level, SlimBs up to 120, QI individuals up to 135. You can help people with different assistance programs up to 150% of federal poverty level for the LIS extra help assistance as well. The pieces of the puzzle for the history of these different assistance programs, they were enacted by legislation at different times through our history in 88, 90, and 97. And you can see where a substantial portion of the folks that are eligible for this assistance are not enrolled in the programs. There are a number of reasons, but if we have these details at our fingertips, we can help folks reach out and see if they qualify for the additional assistance. These are based on 2019 numbers and give you the information for the continental United States. Remember, 8 states do not have the assets limits test, and the states of Hawaii and Alaska have higher income limits as well. How do we find out what's available in our markets? Well, Medicare.gov gives us all the wonderful information we need to make certain that we have details on the plans that are available in our area. Look for the different assistance that will pop up when you do a plan search, and it will give you details based on the different special needs programs that are available, because there are 3 categories of special needs plans. Today we specifically address the dual special needs plans, the programs for people who are eligible for Medicare and Medicaid, but there are also in many markets a chronic special needs program or a program for folks that are in certain long-term care facilities as well. The details at the dual eligible SNPs, well, much like the regular Medicare Advantage programs, if we look at data from Mark Farah Associates, it gives us a breakdown on the players in the market. And today we visit with the biggest player in the market, the dual SNP arena, and there's a reason for that, and we'll go through those in just a few moments. It does give us also the opportunity to realize that even though there are a fairly large number of people involved in these programs, there's still a good piece of the population that has not yet been addressed through programs such as we're going to discuss today. One of the things that comes into play as well is we're seeing an increased competition in this arena, with more and more carriers being involved in delivering this sort of program for those who are eligible. Why would we want to do business with one or another? Well, obviously, experience has a big play in how we deal with the population and making certain that the companies we work with have the expertise to deal with this special population. And they have the resources in order to help us address the population as well. So this is a grand opportunity for us, even if it is not our focus in the Medicare arena. So keep in mind the presentation portion that we just went through, this presentation and the recording will be sent as part of the follow-up to today's presentation. As we visit with our guest speaker, we have the pleasure of having Ms. Zonta Turner, the Regional Sales Director for the Southeast region with United Healthcare Community and State, with us today. Zonta has graciously agreed to help us with today's presentation, and I double booked her. So we have to make certain that she is available at this particular point in time, or we'll circle back for this portion of the presentation to make certain that it is there. And so, at this point in time, I think we're going to do a little bit of an extemporaneous move and go through part of why you would want to do a portion of this portion of your business with our organization as opposed to other people and other organizations that are out there for you to work with. My past experience personally is as an ex-United Healthcare employee, and I worked for an organization that was purchased by United Healthcare that is one of the initial providers of these sorts of programs in the country. A program back in the day called Evercare, for some of you who might remember that label. We have seen great changes in programs since that particular point in time, where many folks who were unaware of these opportunities have now greater access to people that can help them take advantage of these benefits that are available for them, and also a differentiation between the types of extras that a person gets through a dual special needs programs. These programs have been around for a period of time through legislation, but we've seen a refinement as to how they are delivered. One of the primary reasons an individual would look at a dual special needs plan is not just the extra benefits that we'll go through, but also the fact that these plans help the beneficiary have their benefits coordinated between the funding provided by Medicare and Medicaid. And that can make a huge difference in the quality of life that they have on an ongoing basis. So let's do this. You have a sneak peek of Zanta's presentation. And what we have now is a bit of additional information as to why you would want to do these sorts of programs with Premier. One of the things that we do is we try to help make certain that the entire process for an independent agent is as seamless and as simple as possible. We all know that in a highly regulated Medicare Advantage world, that's not always easy to do. And one of the first pieces that comes into play is the electronic contracting process. United Healthcare allows you to contract with them in a number of different fashions. You can still do the old familiar paper contracting, but you can also do things through a direct link that is provided by United Healthcare, or through the electronic processing that we have through a software package called Surance Bay, where you create an agent profile and then select carriers to have the contracts auto-filled by the electronic process. It helps you contract with a number of organizations very simply and make certain that the entire contract is completed and legible. One of the challenges we had back in the old Evercare days was the applications that came into our organization. Many of them were pended simply because the folks that were processing those contracts couldn't read our handwriting. When we do things on an electronic basis, we eliminate that challenge. One of the things that we do offer our agents as well is discounted errors and admissions coverage. As a true independent insurance agent, you may contract with a number of different carriers, but also through a number of different contracting entities, different marketing organizations offering access to different insurance companies. This coverage at a discounted rate covers all of your marketing activity with insurance companies, regardless of who the upline is. It gives you the opportunity to operate as a true independent agent, but also making certain that you have the coverage that you need to protect yourself, and in many circumstances, that is required by the carriers with whom you work. We also offer discounted continuing education for your licensing. So you keep that in play at a discounted rate. Here in the state of Texas, after a period of time, you are grandfathered if you've had your license long enough, as some of us have. The challenge is you still have certain specific continuing education courses that you have to take regardless, and this helps you satisfy all of those requirements. We also offer you a way to augment your own benefit package. As an independent agent, you have to maintain, or you should maintain, I should say, your own coverages. This gives you access to a non-cancelable easy for me to say, disability insurance program that is available on a modified guarantee issue basis at discounted rates where you share in the commission of your own sale. It's a great way to protect your income through a program that you genuinely participate in. We do also offer different training programs and resources to help you market the programs that come into play. United Healthcare does an incredible job of helping their contracted agents market their programs. We, however, augment that through the different informational programs we make available, both on the product as we are going through today, but also on how you can apply that opportunity into the community. One of the programs that many agents take advantage of are retail marketing opportunities, market venue programs. Believe it or not, information has already gone out to many agents who have successfully participated in Walmart in the past. The folks that have the right of first refusal are being contacted now about that opportunity. We have a webinar next week that goes through retail marketing programs, not only with Walmart, but with various carriers as well. And for many agents, that is a very crucial portion of their overall marketing program, not only during the annual election period, but also throughout the year. We also offer you means of accessing electronic support, both for quote engines and remote enrollment opportunities. Many of the carriers now offer electronic enrollment through their own platforms. This particular system, the Medicare Center program, offers you the opportunity to not only remotely enroll folks, but also make certain that you satisfy all the compliance requirements that you have beforehand. So obtaining and storing the scope of appointment and creating a database where you can offer the annual reviews on a simplified basis, because it stores that information for you simply, securely, and compliantly. We're also rolling out an e-application process to make certain that we can make that available for as many Medicare supplement companies as well. We also offer a program that allows you to put your social media marketing on autopilot, a great program through our Coverage Made Easy program that gives you an opportunity to market on Facebook and other social media outlets on a autopilot type of basis, where much of the data that you are laying out in those programs comes to you with a minimum of effort. We do also offer the different incentive programs where available. I say that we're available because the compensation levels for an agent through the Medicare Advantage and prescription drug programs are dictated by the government and the oversight that we have there. But the Medicare supplement programs and other insurance programs that many agents offer do carry with them different incentives, and we include our own producer's trip, which is actually this week and goes to Jamaica. We will have the 2020 producer's trip information announced during that trip, and we'll have that available for you shortly. We also have different ways for you to reach out and get in front of the individuals that we need in order to offer all of the goodies that we have as part of our portfolio. There are some programs that allow you to still smile and dial. Medicare Advantage and prescription drug plans are not part of that. However, many folks reach out to the Medicare population in this manner still for Medicare supplement programs and for ancillary programs, such demand programs as dental or cancer programs. We also, as I mentioned, make available not only the opportunity to participate in retail marketing, but also with a system to help make that effective. I would strongly recommend anyone who becomes involved in Walmart or one of the other retail locations available through certain carriers that they make that just a part of their overall program and layer on opportunities to visit through faith-based organizations and providers that are part of a network that make you successful in offering those plans to the public. There are also different carrier-generated prospects that come available. We're piloting a program on internet generated leads as well. And we do offer direct mail support based on production that deeply discounts the cost of this old reliable prospecting method. So we want to work with you with your different programs that you have available. And so let's talk about one of those right now. Santa, are you available?
Yes, I am.
Awesome. Well, I'm going to do something that is of great demand for the folks that are on the call right now, where I shut up and I actually let you go through what the information that we have available for the 2019 opportunities in the dual SNP market in Florida and Georgia. So just tell me when to turn and we will go.
Thank you so much, John, for inviting me and having me on this call. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, indeed.
Awesome. All right. So, hello, my name is Zanta Turner, as John had mentioned, and I represent the Southeast along with a couple of other folks for the United Healthcare Dual Complete Plan. And I'm excited to talk to you today specifically about the states, Florida and Georgia. So if you want to go ahead and go to the next. As you've already learned from what you heard from John earlier, in order for someone to be dual, they have to be someone who has Medicare and Medicaid eligible, right? So the way that our plans work, which I love, any of you that have experience with United knows that we tailor our plans around the population that we're serving. So, depending upon which plan we're offering, in this case, it's the dual plan, we really tailor it around that demographics of folks. So from head to toe, you'll see coverage. And one of the things that I really like about our dual plan with United is the care coordination. We're going to talk about benefits here shortly, but we don't talk a lot about what goes into, what that member gets once they enroll in our plan. So although we do think really thoughtful in making sure that our benefits are competitive, profitable, but also really tailor around the member, we also tailor around that care coordination that helps folks really get the service that they need depending upon where they're at, right? The whole slogan with United of helping members of healthier lives is how we get there. So, year end and talking with agents and members, it's really important that they take that health risk assessment call after they enroll in our plan, because that's what starts that coordinated care. So when someone is on Medicare, primary, Medicaid, and then obviously if they're dual, they're going to have a worst case scenario, standalone Part D. No one's watching, no one's coordinating their care and seeing, is this person taking medications that contradict one another, right? Counteract one another. Are they a high utilizer to the ER? We watch those things for these folks, and if we start seeing some of those, we'll take the extra measures to reach out to them and say, okay, what's really going on with you, so that we can help them get to a healthier state than where they were when they met us. We also do a lot for helping them with preventative measures through our rewards programs. If these folks, do their preventative mammograms, getting their physicals and all that, they actually can receive rewards from us through gift cards. Now, it's not something that we want agents really talking about on the front end, because, we don't want them to enroll just to get the rewards. But once they become a member, that agent can talk to them about the rewards that they'll receive, and very high level, right? But encouraging them to go and make sure that they're doing their preventative measures, because we'll reward them for that. So again, we're going to go really deep, and not too deep, but deep enough into the benefits. But I think it's really important that you understand that we really are wanting to take care of our members once you enroll them into our plan. You can go ahead and go to the next. So, hopefully you guys have heard about our Lean and our Jarvis, all of our online support, our toolkit. We have a lot of webinars that we offer that kind of help agents. If you want to learn a little bit more about toolkit, you can go to our calendar on Jarvis and learn about those trainings. We also do other kind of various trainings without The toolkit, I'll just speak about for a very brief moment because I know we're going to discuss it later. Toolkit's amazing. We have found that agents that use our toolkit and our items that are available in toolkit actually sell 8 times more than agents that don't. So the toolkit pieces are tailored to what we have found from a marketing perspective that members or prospects that become members really respond to. So please take advantage of going in there. I'll give you a little secret before we get to this section of the deck, but in the dual folder, all of our items have no cost. Other than the card magnets, anything that you get from our toolkit site is going to be no cost to an agent. Go ahead. Opportunity is huge. You know, we continue to grow on this segment, the dual side, the community and state side. And, you know, in the states where we actually have a footprint, the eligible amount is over 5 million. The thing that I think is very, very interesting is the penetration. We actually have less than 30%. So that means, as I was speaking earlier, folks that you run across that have, you know, Medicare primary, a form of Medicaid, and then in most cases, they're going to have just a standalone Part D. So that 73% is that kind of what your population looks like when we're referring to the dual folks. They're going to have, like I said, the Medicare primary, Medicaid, some level that makes them dual, and then they'll have a standalone Part D. The 27% are those that are actually enrolled in a plan, like a United or another dual plan. And so there's a lot of opportunity to be had just with those folks that are not tied to a plan currently. This particular population is very vulnerable, sometimes needy, but then they're very fragile. The thing that I love about them is they're so appreciative of the help that they get. What seems to work with them really, really well is that feet on the street concept, because they're amazing at word of mouth. I actually was a sales agent for many years, had a lot of success there. And the one thing that was always just very consistent with this dual population is word of mouth. You spend the time with that particular population, enroll them, get them to trust you. They're going to send referrals after referrals, and not just dual. They'll send you non-dual referrals. They'll help you to build a pipeline, for your non-dual population as well. We are expanding into a couple of new states for 2019, or we already expanded, but we'll go ahead and move on to the next slide. So this is just an overview of what we offer nationally from, our ancillary benefits. So I mentioned before, we have the care coordination piece, the rewards for our members. The reason why our folks enroll are before, obviously, the ancillary. The debit card, along with dental, is usually the number 2 reasons why folks enroll. That debit card, depending upon the state, and we'll go more into it when we get into Florida and Georgia, is a card that they can use that actually allows them to buy items in most cases they can't afford, right? Items like cough drops, vitamins, and whatnot. And this is really beneficial to this population because they can also get items delivered directly to them. So we'll talk a little bit more when we get into the benefit state specifically, but we also offer transportation, vision, acupuncture, hearing, fitness. Over the counter is very similar to the debit card. And again, we'll talk about it shortly, but it's a lot of the items that they can't normally afford, which is, in some cases, items they really need. Healthy meals, chiropractic, foot care, dental, and personal emergency response system. The foot care, I love to talk about because I think it's one of the most overlooked benefits that we offer. But what we do see is that with our dual population, more than not, probably three out of 4 of our members tend to be diabetic. And so when they enroll into our plan, they get those 4 podiatry visits in most cases, right? And they get to actually get their nails clipped. And for diabetics, that's vital for them. And they get it done 4 times a year. So we'll go into the benefits a little bit deeper, but this is just high level what we offer nationally. Go ahead, John. So dual SNP core services, we do offer the in-home clinical visit. That's the house call program. It's a little bit different for Georgia, so we'll talk about that in a second. We talked already about the care coordination. And then, of course, our plans, our dual plans do already have the integrated Medicare Part D. And then I told you it's super, super important that you let your members know that they are going to be receiving that health risk assessment call. The other piece that I love to talk about, because I don't think that agents are really aware, is the STAR navigators. We have them, and we definitely have them in Florida and Georgia. These folks are actually United Healthcare employees, and what they do is they find our members that have gaps in care. So not every member is necessarily going to get a visit from a STAR navigator, but those members that we see that have gaps in care actually do get a phone call, a visit from a STAR navigator. And what we've found is they go out and find these folks that we've been unable to reach. And so I'll give you a really brief story. I don't want to go over in time, but when we first started this program, we started it in one of the Southeast states, which was Tennessee. We had a navigator go out to a member's home. And when they finally found where this member was actually living in a shed out kind of in the woods in the east part of Tennessee. And when they got out there, they saw that this person really didn't have running water, didn't have electricity. They were using like a paint bucket for the restroom. It was very kind of sad conditions. And so the reason why this navigator went out to see this person was because they actually hadn't been getting their diabetic test strips. So we were super worried about them. So once the navigator got out there, the first thing any of us probably would have wanted to talk about was, hey, we need to make sure you're getting your diabetic test strips. But once this navigator got in front of this member, they found that this member was super concerned about a pet. She had a pet named Stars, and the pet was a wolf, which was pretty scary, but this was her pet. And her pet was the number one priority for her, and she wanted to get her pet food. And so before this navigator could start having, a conversation about what was going on with, her not picking up her diabetic test strips, we had to make sure that we fulfilled the needs of her pet's needs first. And we did. So once we did that, more things came into play. They were able to kind of get them better living conditions with running water and electricity. But the member was able to get the test strips filled. And so with that being said, that's what the job of a navigator is. So it's super awesome that we have these. And I think it's really important that agents are aware, because sometimes the members will call and say, okay, there's this person from United at my house, but I don't know who they are. They are introducing themselves as a STAR navigator. That's what that person is. So just wanted to make you aware. Go ahead, John. So let's get into the actual state specifics. So for the state of Florida, which is where we're going to start, the estimated dual eligibles is over 800,000. We've done an amazing job in Florida in enrolling folks. So we actually have surpassed kind of what we thought was a lot before. We have over 64,000, and I think it's even grown more since that, members just in the state of Florida. So when you look at the penetration, there's still a ton of opportunity, but we've done a really good job in enrolling folks and making sure that our plan has been very successful. So when you look at that penetration rate of 38%, know that a good chunk of that is United. We're definitely trailblazing with membership, because our like I said, our benefits are very competitive and we're profitable and whatnot. The opportunity is still there. There's still an estimated 500,000 dual eligibles available in the state of Florida. And as you can see, we kind of have multiple plan offerings. So in Florida, you have different options. So we can go ahead and get into the benefits. So we're going to start out with the HMO, which, as you can see listed up here, John, unless you tell me different, I'm not going to read off all the counties. I think everyone probably has a visual of this as well through the webinar. But we offer it primarily in kind of, just think of Jacksonville on down through Orlando over to Tampa down to the Southwest Florida areas is kind of how I like to describe it, but you can see the counties listed. So one of the reasons why I actually like this particular slide is because it shows you, it's kind of a comparison of where we were from 2018, from 2019. So the blue means we remained, right? We remained what we were offering the previous year. And the green shows you where we've made an enhancement. But the good thing is we're pretty competitive and we remained that way. We offer AcuChiro. We offer up to 20 visits, and it's pretty cool. They can either use it all on acupuncture or they can use it all on chiropractic, or they can split it up 10 and 10. But we do offer that particular benefit. For dental, again, probably going to be one of the number one reasons they enroll into our plan is we offer $2,500 per year, and it does cover comprehensive dentures. So the dentures are available, but also fillings, crowns, x-rays, along with extractions, root canals, and more. So we do have a kind of what we call a dental code sheet that we can get out through John so that you can see all of the dental codes. We also offer foot care for visits. We already talked about the podiatrist portion of it. Hearing exams. This is really nice. We didn't always offer this dollar amount of the $2,500, but it allows them to get 2 hearing aid devices. And then they also get a meal program, which is really nice. Once they've been released from a facility, whether it's, hospital, what have you, skilled nursing, they actually get up to 14 meals for 7 days. Now they do have to call and say, okay, I've just been released from a facility. But this one's pretty important as well because a lot of our population doesn't always have family members close by and someone that can cook for them. So this is a nice meal for them if they've been like in a hospital or something for a while. We also have the 24-hour nurse hotline, which is pretty awesome. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And then we have the over-the-counter debit card catalog. So this one's sweet. What we offer here is they have pretty much an option of 4 different ways to use this benefit. It's $250 a quarter, $1,000 a year. And they can either go into a Walgreens store, any Walgreens location, and use their card on the, select over-the-counter products. Very similar to the catalog that we offer. It's going to be items like I was mentioning earlier, adult diapers, cough drops, over 250, I know, just different selections. The awesome cool part is with the Walgreens benefit is they can actually really take advantage of helping their dollar go very far. So they can take advantage of the coupons that they may have. They also have at Walgreens what they call Super Tuesday, which is the first Tuesday of every month is a Super Tuesday for Walgreens. So our folks can take advantage of the discounts that are available on their Super Tuesday buy one, get one free offers. And then they can also earn points. So anytime I'm a big Walgreens fan, when I go in, I obviously punch in my phone number. And then after so many times or spending money, they'll tell me that I have an additional credit available. They can also earn points towards that credit. So that's one way that they can access this benefit. They can also access the benefit by ordering online through the catalog. They do get a catalog that they can order out of. So maybe they don't want to leave their own. They can order online through this catalog, or they can call the order in, or they can mail the order in if they just prefer to do it that way. But it's a really nice benefit. And like I said, they can either use Walgreens, or they can order out of the catalog and have it delivered straight to them. They do get a debit card that they will need to, make sure that they activate, and then they'll get a, tie their own PIN to it. Excuse me for 1 second. Excuse me. Then they also have the PERS, which is the Personal Emergency Response System, which is kind of the life alert commercials that you see. It's just through a different carrier. So it's 24 hours a day. They can have either it tied to a landline or a cell phone, and they can wear it around their wrist or they can wear it around their neck. Again, total peace of mind for someone to have access to that if they don't have family living with them and they fall in, and you know, this life alert will be sent over to our personal emergency response and send, you know, help, an ambulance or whatnot. We also offer the transportation up to 75 miles, 48 one-way trips. So this one's pretty sweet. This one is awesome because they actually can go further, and they can take a friend. So if they need a chaperone to attend with them, if they are in, you know, a wheelchair or motor scooter, the transportation is accessible for them as well. And then we also, as I mentioned earlier, we do have vision. It's a $70 credit towards glasses, or $105 towards contacts every year. And then the last piece that I'll mention on this plan, which is pretty awesome, is the virtual doctor visits. So any of you guys who may have seen our Dirty Dancing, Chuck Norris commercials, it's very similar to that, to where something's going on with this person, right? And they're concerned, do I need to go to, you know, do I need to go to the doctor immediately? You know, is my arm, you know, kind of in the Dirty Dancing video, something that needs to have immediate attention? They can use this virtual doctor visit option immediately. And the thing that I love about the virtual doctor visits, which it is an app that they put on their phone, no cost to them, and they have access to this feature 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, is they get it day one. So a lot of this population doesn't go to the doctor like they should. And, you know, that makes them obviously a population that we really want to try and get in front of more often. But in some cases, it is because of transportation, or it's because, you know, they can't find a ride or what have you. This virtual doctor visit is effective the first day they become on the plan. So if you enroll someone today, effective May 1, they can take advantage of the virtual doctor visit. So it's pretty amazing. So, John, I apologize because I was super late. I don't know if I am to continue going, or do you pause for questions?
Sorry, I had myself on mute. Actually, let's complete the presentation. We're following through on some of the questions being entered in through the software, and we'll make certain that if we don't handle everything through the course of the presentation, we'll get a frequently asked questions piece out as part of the follow-up too. So you're doing awesome.
Okay.
Let her roll.
Thanks. We can move on to Georgia. Thanks. Oops, I was wrong. So we still have, go back, I'm sorry. We do have the regional PPO plan in Florida, which I apologize because I was so ready to jump to Georgia, and I'll go through this really quickly. We are the only statewide regional PPO dual plan in the state of Florida. Very similar to what you saw in the HMO, except for the fact that it is statewide. It is not commissionable in Miami-Dade. It's the only county that we're not commissionable in is Miami-Dade. With that being said, everything other than, I'm going to remember, the catalog is pretty similar. So the health benefit catalog is $205 a quarter. The over-the-counter, you can use it at Walgreens. Instead of the $250 like it is on the HMO, it's $205. Still extremely rich benefit. Still can use it one of four ways. Go into Walgreens, order it online, call it in, or mail it in. It's just a little bit different in the amount because it is a regional PPO type plan. Everything else that you can see, from the dental all the way from the acupuncture to vision, is the same. Like I said, what is different on this particular plan is the actual over-the-counter, and then the fact that it's a regional PPO. So it's available in all the counties, just not commissionable in Miami-Dade, and it is a regional PPO, so they have the option of going out of the network if they need to. So we'll go ahead and move to the next one, and then after that we can move to Georgia. Thank you. So Georgia, a little bit different for us. We don't have a statewide footprint there, but still tons of opportunity. We actually have over 200,000 eligibles, and still with the penetration of 25,000 or 25%. Sorry, we have 149,000 dual eligibles that we have access to that are not on a plan. 25% of them are enrolled. For the United Healthcare Dual Complete, we have about 13,000 or less enrolled into our plan, but we've done a really good job there as well. So we can go ahead and go to the next. Excuse me. This particular plan, as you can see, same thing. We do the green and the blue dots to tell you where we've enhanced or whatnot from the year prior. We added AccuChiro for 2019. We have 10 visits, same thing. You can either split it in half, use 5 on Accu, 5 on Chiro, or you can use all 10 on Accu, all 10 on Chiro. Dental, we do offer $1,000 per year for preventative services, and that includes, fillings, crowns, extractions, and more. We have a dental quick reference guide we can hand you. We offer the silver sneakers on this plan, which is pretty awesome. That's the gym membership available. Foot care, podiatry is the same, 4 visits. Excuse me. We also offer hearing, which is $1,000 every 2 years. And then we added the meal program, which is the same as what we were referring to before, which is up to 14 meals, 7 days a week for anyone who's released from a facility. They just have to call and access it. We also have the nurse hotline. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about what we also offer there that's not listed. So we actually have, in addition to the nurse line, we have a plan benefit that you don't see here, but it's actually the at-home nurse program for the state of Georgia. It's very similar to house calls, but it's tailored around a person and where their needs are. So if a person who is someone that needs to be seen on a more frequent basis because it's done on a case-by-case basis, that nurse program is really tailored to that member's needs. The other beautiful thing about the at-home nurse program is it's for folks that it's provided by nurses that are employed by United Healthcare. So it's on an as-needed basis, as I mentioned before. So the best way that I could describe this is, let's say John and I are both members of this plan. John enrolls in the plan, he's healthy, he's thriving. He actually, gets his first initial visit from this at-home nurse practitioner. Once he gets the visit, the nurse is like, oh, John's in pretty good shape, he's fine. She gives him the number for the 1-800-NURSE hotline. If John has any issues, if John calls, that same nurse that came to visit him owns his caseload. So she's very familiar with, her visit with him, his case, his situation. If something happens down the road and she needs to come back out and see him, or maybe he goes into the hospital, she can make that assessment based on where he's at. I enroll into the plan, and let's say my situation is a little bit different. I may have just been released from a facility. She comes in and she sees, wow, this woman has, been bedridden for a while. She's maybe got bed sores. I need to come back and see her in a couple of weeks because her situation's different. It's done on a case-by-case basis. Same nurse, maybe different nurse, but it's a UHC employee, and they really base it upon that individual's needs. But again, if I call in, it's the same nurse that came to visit me that has my caseload that I will get when I call with concerns for the 24-hour nurse hotline. So very tailored to the member, and it's very similar to having like an at-home skilled nursing benefit. The other piece that we offer for Georgia is the over-the-counter, $165 a quarter. That does roll over quarter per quarter. All of our over-the-counter benefits do roll over quarter per quarter. I don't think I mentioned that in Florida. So it rolls into that $560 amount. And so whatever they don't use by the end of the year, they use it. This case, it is through a catalog. They can mail it in, call it in, or fax it in. But same amount of items over the 250 select items that they can choose from, and it can be delivered directly to their home. Transportation is 36 one-way trips, and it is up to 51 miles. And then we also offer the vision of $150 of credit every 2 years for eyewear. So I know we're coming to the top of the hour, but we have very competitive benefits in both of the states, and I appreciated the opportunity to be able to share that with you guys. Thanks so much for inviting me, John. Oh, yeah. So marketing toolkit really quick before we actually wrap. As I mentioned before, on our toolkit site, if you go to the dual folders, all of our items that you see listed here, pretty much everything except for the card magnets are no cost to you. And the benefits, the marketing materials are really tailored to you growing your business. And the one that I probably like the most is the ones that have the 2 ID cards. So when you saw John pull up my portion of the webinar, it showed both ID cards. That really shows our members kind of, it self-identifies, they self-identify with it, and they're able to call in because they see, oh, I have that card, oh, I have that card, and then they call in. So anything that has both of those ID cards on them, we have found from a national marketing perspective, we get a pretty good response rate. So John, was there any other slides? Yeah, we can keep going. I know we're at the top of the hour. I think we already covered that. Yeah, you might want to just show the other one, the one that if you have questions on any of the plans in the other states, John actually showed you the slide that shows who you can contact depending upon what states you're wanting to ask questions about. You can reach out to us via email or phone. But again, thank you so much, John, for inviting me to the call.
Awesome. Thank you, Zonta. I think one of the things that an employed individual with a national carrier has to do is kind of follow dictates by the carrier as to what they can and cannot say. And I appreciate Zonta giving us the details that make a difference for us as agents marketing the programs that are available to us and how they can make a difference in the lives of the people that we deal with. Thank you, Zonta. One of the things that I would really like to mention is the fact that when we go through and we look at the dots, you don't see any red. The benefits with United Healthcare stays very constant. The support is there for you year over year, and some of the things that we see are just an increase of that particular opportunity because this is a company that knows what they're doing, and they give the support to the individuals that we deal with. And many times, if you work with an organization that doesn't have their act together, we're the ones that deal with some of the blowback and the feedback. United Healthcare knows what they're doing. They have the experience. They're the big gorilla in the market, and they want your business as well as we do. And we'd like to ask you for that opportunity to do business with you, because when everything is said and done, more is said than done. Having the information for these programs enable you to make certain that not only do you serve the population overall, but it helps drive your persistency. Because if you're not aware of the opportunities you have in the market and the extras that are available for someone else who does have that information available has the opportunity to take your person. And let's face it, as independent insurance agents, our salary is our renewals. We want to keep that book in place. We want to make certain that we properly serve the individuals that we visit with and are dependent upon for our livelihood as well. So we'd like to invite you to make certain that you have the contracting information you need to be involved in these programs. Make it a part of your overall marketing system, and let's get together and create a marketing plan to have it become a vital part of your overall portfolio. You can reach any of the marketing agent success folks with Premier through our toll-free number at 1-800-365-8208 or visit our website at premiersmi.com. We'd love the opportunity to visit with you about the opportunities available through United Healthcare's community and state programs. Florida and Georgia are ripe markets. As Zonta noted, the opportunity is huge, and it is a population that genuinely needs our help. We look forward to the opportunity of visiting with you for that. Watch for the follow-up that we'll send as part of today's presentation, and we thank you for the investment of your time here today. That said, we wish you good things moving forward, and we wish you good selling. Thanks so much. We look forward to visiting with you soon. And once again, thank you, Zonta.